Hey guys, hi. What's going on? Today I'm live to you guys on a laptop. Hey Rosie, how are you doing? I'm live today on a laptop, just seeing how this goes. How was your Thursday, Rosie? Hope your Thursday was good. Today's topic, yes, happy to see you as well. Do you hear me well? Because I know when I go live from my tablet, I'm getting a lot of that I'm not heard. Oh, hear me? Good. Success. So this is an old laptop, very old. So I'm surprised that it's working. So that's good. How was your day, Rosie? I hope your day was well. I'm about to share this out on my community tab. Hold on one moment while I share this. And if you could thumbs it up for me, please, on coming in, guys. I would appreciate that so much. It's relaxing. What's relaxing? Let me know. Kind of like your day. Oh, that's so good. I'm glad that you had a relaxing day. I think I really like being live from this laptop. So then this may be my new thing. So I just shared it out on the community tab. Thanks for my thumbs up, Rosie. So I love my hair. Actually, it's the wig. So yeah, thanks. I have I have tried so many times today to go live. I tried on this is what I normally try to go live on my iPad mini, and it's just not working. So hopefully if this is successful and you guys like the laptop, maybe I can just continue to use the laptop. Oh, I'm sorry, Rosie. I have lots of moderators already. I have to know you for a while first before I make you a moderator. So, waiting. Yeah, so today's topic is how to be happy. Boy, this is a difficult subject. It's a difficult subject to talk about how to be happy because everybody's definition of happiness is different. Everybody has a different definition of happiness, and what is happiness to you may not be happiness to me, but I mean in general, what is happiness? Happiness is the state of joy, the state of being happy, and some people, their happiness is involved in people. Only certain people, being around certain people, make them happy. And that's one thing about happiness. Happiness can be fleeting, in this life. You never know when things are going to change in your life. Just like everything in life, circumstances come in, health problems, people pass away. You know, you have children grow up. Um, you have relationships and relationships end. So all of those things can be a source of your happiness, but a true happiness has to begin with you. Nobody can make you happy. Nobody feedback. You have to make your own self happy, you know. Nobody can't stop you from being happy. People can aid to your happiness. That's a good thing. People can aid to you being happy, but nobody can't stop you from being happy. So that's the first thing, is that you have to remember that you're in control of your happiness. Nobody can stop it. Nobody can block your happiness. Once you make a choice in your life to be happy, you have to make that choice. Make it up in your mind that regardless of who you're around, regardless of all the problems, remember that the happiness begins and ends with you. It doesn't matter what kinds of problems that you have in your life, who is around, who's coming in, who's your friend, who's not your friend. The first point or tip for this discussion, I believe that happiness has to be a personal quality of yourself. You yourself have to be happy within yourself. Nobody can make you happy, you know, nobody can make you happy. And that's something that you have to keep going back to and trying to remember, that nobody can make you happy, that your happiness is a personal choice. You have to make that personal choice that today and every day, I'm going to be happy, you know. And I think that's really important to remind yourself of that sometimes. Sometimes with life and difficulties, when difficulties come into our lives, what is the first thing we want to do? We want to give up. We want to lick our own wounds and feel as if we're the only one that is experiencing problems. Not true. We have to always remember that other people have problems. We're not alone in problems. And every day it's a choice whether we want to be happy or not. We have to remind ourselves of that sometimes, that we are in control of our own thinking, in control of our own minds. We have to remember that you are in control. Nobody can stop you from being happy if it's something that you really want to do. You have to really want to be happy. You have to believe in your own happiness, because things are always going to come up. There's always going to be difficulties and problems. That's just a part of life. But your choice to maintain your happiness is dependent on you. That's something that I didn't understand when I was younger. I didn't understand that happiness began with me. Um, I think sometimes that it's kind of misleading, you know, that we may think that other people, friends, family, problems are the cause of either aiding in our happiness or taking away from our happiness. But no, your happiness is something that you choose for yourself. Nobody can make you happy. It's something that you have to possess deep within inside of yourself and know it. And another thing is that you have to believe that you're deserving of happiness. For a long time, I did not believe that I was deserving of being happy. A lot of times, we are our own worst enemy, our own worst critic, you know, and we condemn ourselves and make ourselves think that, oh, you know, my situation is too bad now. You know, we want to blame others as the cause of our either happiness or unhappiness. But ultimately, nobody can stop you from being happy. You have to make that personal choice that today, even if problems and difficulties arise, which they will, that I'm going to take my control back and maintain my happiness and my joy and my peace of mind. You have to have that inside of your mind and remind yourself of that sometimes, because, of course, with life on the job, in school, with family members, if you ever have any physical ailments, you have to remind yourself that despite what is going on around me, I'm making a choice to maintain my happiness, because one, I deserve it. Two, I know that this was chosen for me. It's a choice that every day you have to choose your happiness. Every day you wake up, and depending on your attitude, is why you're either going to be happy or not happy. It's your attitude. And a lot of people that I'm sure a lot of people do want to be happy, but because of circumstances or problems, we allow those things to block out our happiness and our joy. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to allow anything to stop you and block you from your joy. Life raid. Oh, thank you. I've never been rated before. Aw, thank you. Life. Is it life? Oh, thank you, Life Raid. I appreciate that. Hey, yeah, first time raid. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. How are you guys doing? Welcome, everybody. Yes, I'm having a great day. How are you guys doing? Yes, sending love and light. How are you guys doing? You're doing good. I'm so glad. Thanks for joining me. If you guys could give me at least 10 to 15 minutes of your time, I would appreciate that so much. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to Therapy Thursday. So, the topic for today is how to be happy. And a lot of people, they think that happiness is um, dependent on their circumstance or dependent on other people in their life. But no, your happiness really begins and ends with you. That's something that you have to grow into. It's a journey. Each person has a personal journey, and it's a journey within yourself that you have to know that you're deserving of happiness. You have to know that, and you have to believe that about yourself. And it's really a struggle because if you are naturally not a positive person, if you're a negative person, it's hard to change yourself. Smash. It did not feel a thing. Rank your bell to not hear a thing. You can't hear me? Is my volume not up? My volume is all the way on 100. Do you guys hear me? Hey, King Art. You guys hear me? Do you hear good? Okay, good. So, like I was saying, that happiness, oh, you can, King Art, thank you. The happiness and joy that you possess in life is really dependent on you. You know, nobody can make you happy but yourself. A lot of people don't want to put in the work. That's why I call these sessions on Thursday Therapy Thursdays, because it really involves work on each one of our part. You know, nobody can't do the work, the personal work for yourself but you. You have to want to put in the work to change your life, to change your circumstances, and to do whatever is necessary for whatever it is that you're facing. So, if this is the issue that you're facing right now, you want to learn how to be happy. It's hard to make changes in life, you know, it's hard to make changes, but it is very possible. And nobody can't make, you make changes in your life. Nobody can't make you happy. You have to make that choice for yourself that I'm going to change my life. I'm going to believe in myself. And I think it's wonderful when you make a choice and decide to change your life and to be happy, because it's important to know that you're deserving of your happiness. I think that's something that, that's not something taught in school. I wish that these important things like happiness and joy and forgiveness and teaching people about money and lots of other topics that I cover. All the best. Thank you, Food Forest. Thanks for being here. I think all of these topics are something that should be taught in school. I think that there's so much foolishness that they teach in school where they should teach people how to live. You should teach people how to live and to be able to adjust into life. And I think the skills of teaching people how to be happy, teaching people about finances, learning to cook, how to travel, how to budget your money, all those other things, how to save money, knowing about your credit score. I think all those things are important skills that I wish they would teach into the schools, but they don't. Most of us have to learn these things on our own, either through therapy or just life in general when life beats you up. And then when you've had enough of getting beat up in life, you make a choice to change. And that's what happened for me. I made a choice to change in my life and to believe in myself again, knowing that I'm deserving of happiness. That was really a big change in my life when I decided in myself that it was time to be happy. Um, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard about that saying about the bitter woman, a woman who's bitter all the time, mad, angry. Yeah, that was me when I made a choice to no longer be mad. Like, I don't know why, but a lot of times that a lot of women that they channel their light in the wrong direction. They're mad at the wrong things instead of being mad at certain people in their life that they should be mad at. They're harming their own self and making their own self unhappy and bitter and having a horrible attitude, whereas you should be releasing things and forgiving people. Those all those things aid in your happiness and your personal growth. But a lot of people out there don't want to grow. They don't want um, to benefit themselves, and they don't want to learn. They really would like to change, but they don't want to put in the work involved. They don't want to go to therapy. They don't want to forgive people. And those are some of the things that aid in your happiness. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to put in the work involved in trying to be happy, to do what it takes to be happy. They don't want to do it. And I feel that that's very sad that if you don't care about yourself enough to put in time and effort, who is going to? Nobody is going to help you to be happy unless you want to be happy. And that's something that I think I had to grow into. I had to grow into that and learn that through, hard knock life. It was really difficult. It was really difficult to learn that within myself that, I am deserving of all the love and happiness that I can stand, that it should be limitless, the amount of happiness that you have. It should be limitless. But a lot of people limit their happiness based on situations. And hey, The Right's Way, how are you doing? Welcome. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so a lot of people, they make decisions, for their happiness. They feel like their happiness is dependent on other people. And that's not true at all. It's not true at all because your happiness is dependent on you. I know that a lot of times that, when circumstances happen in our life, and if you feel miserable or you're dealing with an illness, when you don't feel good, it's hard to maintain positivity and happiness and joy in your life. It's hard and difficult to do that, but it is possible. It's very possible, but you have to make that choice for yourself. That's something that I had to learn. I had to learn that within myself, that I'm deserving of happiness. And I don't think a lot of people, they stop and they think about that. They want to blame other people for, that's the reason why I'm unhappy, because of my mom, my sisters, my cousins, my brother, my boss, this, that, and the other. But really, if you think about it, that happiness that you're trying to achieve is based on the hard work that you put into it. Because just like everything in life, whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of. So, how many of us out there will put out and put in all the hard work to be able to achieve their happiness? Happiness is something that can be fleeting, because people don't want. Happiness is hard. You would think it is as easy as a smile. Oh, you're here, King Art? Yeah, you would think it was as easy as a smile, but there's so much involved in happiness, the right way. It is so much involved in happiness. Happiness is based on your forgiving others, forgiving yourself. That's one of the main things, that you can't be possess happiness within yourself when you're holding on to all of this anger. you know there's no way that light can come into your life, and joy. Yes, thank you. It's no way that light and joy can come into your life if you're angry. Those two things cannot coexist. They cannot, but you can't have light and darkness. They don't equate. They don't go together. They're complete polar opposites. So that's why it's important to remember that forgiveness is not just for others. Forgiveness is for you. And a lot of people don't understand that. Some people just really love to be mad and angry and bitter all the time. I was there. I will admit it. I admit it freely, that when somebody would do something to me, I would see how long I could ignore them. Yeah, truth be told, someone people told me some people don't know how to be happy. Yeah, some people don't know how to be happy, and I feel like that's sad, because um, yes, it takes work, but if you really want to be happy, you're going to do everything that it takes in order to be happy. Nobody can stop you from being happy. Yes, situations and problems are always going to come up in life. You can't stop that. That's is inevitable. You can't stop someone who wants to be happy, because they're making the choices, they're putting in the hard work, they're forgiving people, they're doing things that aid in their happiness. A lot of people who are angry and bitter, they're selfish people. They're people who love to blame others. They never want to be held accountable for their own, what role do they play in the situation, in their happiness? Because we all have to be held accountable for the things that we do. What are we doing to be happy? What are you doing each day in order to be happy? Are you making joy a part of your personality? A lot of people don't understand that should be a part of your personality. If you want to be happy, you have to take that on into your personal happiness. You have to, it has to be something deep within you. My ex is an expert expert at that. Being mad all the time, for real. You know, I'll be honest with you guys. I went through years of that until I got tired of it. I was like, why am I mad all the time? Like, this is crazy. Like, I was like, so, each person has to have their own journey in life, that they have to make a choice that I'm no longer, yeah, you have to make yourself smile. And another aid in happiness is that you have to not take yourself so seriously or other people so seriously. I think sometimes, not always, but sometimes I believe that that comes with age. I think the older that you get, you have to learn that, things are not so serious. Like, you have to remember just how you are imperfect, just like you're human and you make mistakes, and people have to put up with you. You as well have to put up with others. A lot of people don't want to face that fact that they do things to others just like others do things to them. Plus, men don't like that. What don't men like on King Art? So, you have to be accountable for yourself. And part of happiness is making good decisions. A lot of times people will make horrible decisions. They surround themselves by people who are going to bring them down, people who are negative. So the two, it doesn't equate. You can't want to be happy and surround yourself by people who are unhappy or people who are negative. It's a give and take. You have to choose who you want to be around. Are you around people who are doing things with their life and they're positive, they're encouraging? All of that aids in your happiness is being around people who have peace as their quality. Are they peaceful people? Women being mad? Yeah, I agree, King Art. Nobody wants to be around anybody who's mad all the time. It's horrible. And I admit it freely. I freely admit that. I was that way for years until I was sick of it. I think that's what it takes sometimes. It takes you realizing that it's time to stop being mad. Also, I would say part of it is it's time to grow up. Sometimes uh, people are unhappy because they make bad decisions and then they have to face the repercussions of their actions. Because my husband calls it ABW syndrome. What does that mean? ABW syndrome. Um, I just don't understand. I don't know why. Yeah, it is a turnoff. I just don't understand why people like, why was I mad? Like, I'm still trying to figure out sometimes why I was walking around mad for years. I don't understand. I did it for years, like just walking around, just like, oh, just snapping at everybody. Yeah. Oh, angry black woman. Oh, okay. Yeah. And I was just that way for years. And it was like nothing was bothering me, but I always found something to get mad at. Like, oh, why are they looking at me like that? And why is this always just nitpicking and snapping and nagging? And until I got tired of it myself. Like, I'm tired of being this way. It's time to make some changes. And yeah, I had enough. So I think that's what it takes sometimes is you have to be ready for a change in your life. You have to want to possess. The world will do it to you. I know. And that's the thing, that I know that difficulties and problems happen in life, of course. But you have to also remember that you're not the only person in the world. That you have to remember, everybody is human just like yourself. And just like you tick people off and make people mad and angry, guess what? It goes both ways. Just how I can make somebody angry, you can make somebody angry. So it's good to remember that. And that makes it easier for me to forgive when I remind myself when somebody makes me really mad. I said, well, I know that I really made somebody mad at some point every day. we all do things that hurts one another, that was insensitive or something, or did something to make somebody angry in some kind of way. And you have to remember that just like we want to be forgiven ourselves, we have to forgive others. And that aids in your happiness, and it shows your maturity and your strengths, that you are growing as a person. And I think it's important always to do a self evaluation in life. It's important to make a self evaluation, that you recognize that you need help, and that help, be it from God, that help be from others. You have to remember to humble yourself. You have to humble yourself. Hey, Boss Life Online, welcome. I live by this: control what you can control and let the rest work itself out. Well, that's nice. That's a nice saying. Welcome, Boss Life Online. How are you doing? Welcome. I think it's so important to remember that you're human. I think sometimes you feel like you are perfect. I know it frustrates me sometimes because I want to be perfect. I want other people to be perfect, and I think that's my frustration. It's like I sometimes can't handle my own self, much less others. Yes, thank you guys. Welcome each other. And I think it's important to remember that, we're imperfect. We fall short each and every day. And just as God forgives us, we need to be forgiven as well. And I think that aids in your happiness as well, as when you know that you need others. Just like I need you, you need me, we need each other to be happy. And it's about who you surround yourself by. If you surround yourself with positive people, encouraging people, motivating people, people on their grind, okay, people on their grind, doing their thing, and things will align, and everything will be okay. But when you are surrounding yourself by people who are negative, people who gossip about others, people who put each other down, you know, you're never going to experience joy and light in your life if you surround yourself with those kinds of people. It's really important to continuously make an evaluation of the people who you claim to be your friends. Because whether we believe it or not, the people we surround ourselves by are either going to aid or deplete our happiness. It's only two sides. Either they're going to give you more happiness, they're going to aid in that happiness, or they're going to take away your happiness and make you feel miserable. It only goes two ways. Yeah, it's true. And it took me a long time because I thought I could just, one thing that I didn't understand when I was younger, I thought because people were my family that they they wanted the best for me. That's not always true, because just because people are related to you by blood, it doesn't mean that they're on your team, that they believe in you, that they're supportive of you, that they're going to encourage you. And for a long time, that made me unhappy. Yeah, they can be the worst sometimes. And I think that took me knowing and learning that you can make your own family. And I know, and I've done it. So nobody can't tell me that you can't make your own family. Your family is a choice who you choose to put in your life. I have girlfriends that have been in my life. Crabs in a bucket. What does that mean? I have girlfriends that have been in my life, and they're closer to me than people who are related to me by blood. It's not about, who's related to you by blood, but it's who's there on your team and who has your back and who's going to support you and encourage you and all that. No, I don't. I don't know that saying. So I think it's so important to remind ourselves that that will help us to keep going in life is realizing that, life can change, that you can change. If you don't like your life currently, you don't like what's happening in your life, you have the ability to change it. That's something that I didn't realize. I was, I guess you could call the woman scorned, you know, bitter, angry, mad, all that stuff, bad attitude. Hey, Life of Amy, welcome. I was the woman who was bitter and angry for days, snapping at everything and everyone that I could. Hello, King Art. Um, I was snapping at everything and everyone that came into my path because I was just mad and angry. Hey, Tara, welcome. I was just mad and angry at everybody who came in my path for no reason. There was no reason for me to be so nasty and bitter and angry. Put crabs in a bucket and they will never let one climb out. They will keep pulling everyone back in. Oh, wow. No, I don't know anything about crabs. I've never, because I don't eat crabs, never seen crabs. So thank you for telling me that. Um, so I just had to make a choice to stop being angry. And I know everybody has a different struggle. Maybe everybody doesn't have the same issues. Maybe you were always positive. Maybe you were surrounded by a great support system, lots of positive people. What a blessing for you. I'm happy for you. But some of us, me included, was the angry, bitter woman scorned. Hey, Cleveland, welcome. Thanks for being here. I am often in a negative state of mind. It's not easy. Yeah, yeah, being mad for nothing, not good. I know it's not good. And that's why I had to make a choice, honestly. I had to decide one day, like, sit down, like, why are you mad all the time? Why are you so angry? And then, like, really listen to those answers, like, why are you mad? And ultimately for me, it was learning. That's okay, Cleveland. I appreciate you being here. And thank you, Life of Amy. I had to just make that choice to stop being mad, stop being bitter, and learning to move on. I had to just stop being mad, stop being bitter, and I had to let go of anger and resentment, not only from others, but I had to get go of that anger and resentment towards myself because whether I realized it or not, I was holding on to things from the past that I did. And that caused me to be unhappy because I was still beating up myself for something that I did or didn't do in the past. And it's impossible to live in your present when your mind is in the past. So I had to forgive myself. I wrote myself a long letter and say, and I said in the letter that I'm no longer, yeah, every day it's a choice that you make that today is going to be a good day. Today is going to be positive. I'm going to be positive even if others aren't, you know. It's a choice. Every day you wake up, it's a choice. But like I was saying previously, I had to write a letter to myself and put in it that I am no longer going to be bitter and angry and mad, that others cannot choose my lights, that I am in control of all the light that surrounds me, that this circle right here, this box, I call my box. You don't let people come into your box, and you can block people out, ignore them, whatever it is. But you have to make a choice that you're going to be happy each and every day. And I had to make that change in my life, that I was going to stop blaming other people for the things that I was doing or wasn't doing. Yeah, Cleveland Paints. Um, I had to make that choice that I am no longer going to be that bitter woman. Yeah, you have to make a choice. Yeah, and it's not as easy as you think. That first I had to find out why I was mad. Then I had to I had to forgive others for being mad at them, and forgive myself for being mad, and learning to let go of that and to have a new way of thinking. I had to start writing down positive affirmations and putting them on sticky notes, and putting them in notebooks everywhere that I looked on my phone. Everywhere when I'm at work, I would have things as positive, so that I got myself into the thinking that I'm deserving of happiness, that I'm wonderful, that wonderful things are going to happen to me, that I'm deserving of everything wonderful, that I'm a gift and a blessing to others. You have to start having those thoughts. If you don't naturally possess that, you can change your life, and think another way. And I had to start thinking another way. I was tired of being angry and bitter, and positive reinforcement does work. It does. And also within that, I had to, you know, clean up my friends list. Thank you, Boss Life Online. Um, I had to clean up my friends list, and I'm not talking about Facebook. This was way before Facebook. I had to clean up who I call my friend, because everybody, we all know those ones that we call our friend, but they're not really our friend, and they're borderline a hater. And I had to recognize it for what it was, that I may want them to be my friend, but they are not my friend. And I had to cut off association with lots of people. Some people got upset with me and said nasty things to me, that I think that I'm better than them and all kinds of things. But I was no longer going to be around people who always talked about others, because you start to become that way too. And I started thinking things that is not good. It's not a person of light. It's not a person of peace and joy, which is something that I wanted to possess. And there's no way that you can bring in light and joy and peace into your life if you cause problems, if you're a troublemaker, if you're a gossiper. It doesn't equate, it doesn't equate. You can't um, want someone to be nice to you and kind and loving to you, but right behind their back, as soon as they leave, you're talking about them, you're gossiping about them, you're saying mean things and evil things about others. So I had to learn. Yeah, they're jealous. I had to learn to possess a spirit of gratitude, and humility, and recognize my own imperfection, that I am imperfect just like other people are imperfect, but also that I am chosen just like you all are chosen. And if you're not on that path yet, I hope you will be soon. But we were all chosen um, for a certain life, a different path, because I believe every single person has talents and gifts that they can share with the world. It's a choice whether you're going to listen and walk in your path and use your abilities or talents, or just let it waste away. So when I decided to walk within my talents and to remember who I am, and that I was chosen for a purpose to be a woman of light and joy and peace and happiness, it was a game changer. I made a choice to just be happy regardless of what was happening around me. A lot of people think that life is dependent on their happiness is dependent on others. That's what I thought before I became enlightened, that it doesn't matter who's around you. Your happiness starts with you, and it's about the choices that you make. It's the people you surround yourself by. It's what you put into your mind. It's what you think about yourself. It's what you think about others. All of those things, they aid in your happiness. And nobody can't make you become that way or think that way. You have to want to be that way. You have to want to pursue peace. And when I say pursue peace, I mean somebody does something to you. It means somebody does something to you, but you make a choice to forgive them and to let it go, and not harbor and want to continue to to bicker with them, and just learn to let things go, because things are just not that serious to me. To me, my peace of mind is much more important than being right, because I believe 100% that sometimes it's better to be wronged and maintain your peace and positive attitude than to be right and to continuously go back and forth with others. It's not worth it. And nobody is worth you sacrificing your peace and your happiness and joy and light and doing things that you need to do and walk within your path. Because when you're so busy worrying about others, talking about others, when do you have time to stay focused on your goals? You don't have time to focus on your goals because you're too worried about others. It's time to refocus your mind to think about yourself. And it's not selfish. I think a lot of times when I was growing up, I was always under the impression from the way that I was raised that it's selfish to think about yourself, that especially a woman should always do things for others. But no, when I grew up, I had a new way of thinking that yes, while it's good to help and aid others, you should never put yourself on the back burner. You have to remember yourself and show yourself love and kindness and consideration and peace, and to make peace not only with yourself but others. It was a big lesson. That was a big therapy lesson, because I loved to have the last word. I loved to always be right. I loved all of that. I loved to talk about others and gossip and always be mean and nasty. But I had to learn to take on. I had to learn to take on Christ Jesus in my life, and believe that just how I want to grow personally, they want to grow personally. And even if they're not there right now, let things go and give back your peace so that your other blessings can come into your life. Because I was consumed with anger towards others. When something would happen to me, I would hold on to it for years. And every time I would think about them or their name or something surrounding them, the anger would just, oh, you guys know what I mean. It would just bubble up in me, that anger and that bitterness, and ready to get even, the resentment. But it's not worth it. We get one life to live, and We should use your life to be peaceful and to have happiness and to do wonderful things and surround yourself with people who care about you and people who are doing things with their life. You know, nobody needs that type of energy in your life. You don't need it. And that's what, for me, my personal circumstance, that's when my life changed, when I decided to no longer allow other people to affect my own moods. Don't let people have that much power and control over you. Nice. Good topic. Thank you. Thank you, King Art. Taurus anger. Oh, I'm not Taurus. Um, Bright's way. I'm 100% Aquarius. So, I loved to be anger. I love to be angry all the time. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just love to be angry and hold on to things. I will be live at 8 p.m. What time is it now? Oh, 7:20. Yeah, lots of people think I'm Taurus. I'm not. I'm Aquarius. So, I had to just let things go and know that it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Your happiness is worth so much more. Your peace of mind is worth so much more. Living your life to the full, it's worth so much more to have good memories and positive thoughts, positive thinking, and moving forward and achieving your goals. All those things are more important than holding on. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's more important to let things go than to hold on. It's better to forgive than to be right. Sometimes you just have to let yourself be wronged. When someone says, you did this, sometimes it's better to just let them have it. Let them, if that's how they feel, you can't be in control of the way someone else feels. It's impossible because different people believe different things because of their situations, their upbringing, all kinds of things. I show my heart to your stream. You're never wrong. There is love, joy, and peace. Just know that God will always give you a new start. This is a poem I wrote in the chat that just came from my heart. Oh, thank you, Cleveland. Yeah, you just have to grow, And the sad point about life is that so much people in life, they are angry and bitter for no reason whatsoever, just because they just want to be angry and bitter. And that's what I had to face when I faced myself in the mirror, when there was nobody but me and God. And I had to look at myself and say, you're an angry person, but you're no longer going to make this choice to be angry. You're no longer going to make a choice to be bitter. You're going to pursue peace. Joy is your inner quality, and you deserve all the love and light in this world. And until you come to that realization within yourself that you want to pursue peace and joy and light, and to be kind to others, to be eager to forgive, eager to pursue peace, to let things go. Until you do that into your light is never going to shine. Because if you can't handle little tasks in life like forgiveness and peace and being kind to others and letting things go. And if you can't do something little like that, how are you going to be able to handle bigger things when God has bigger things for you? You have to handle the little things. You have to handle the past, accept what it is. Yes, turn the other cheek. You have to accept the past, the good, the bad, and ugly. Accept the things that you did. It's nothing wrong with saying, I did this and it was wrong, and forgive me, and let those things go. Ask for forgiveness and leave it there. Stop bringing it up. Stop bringing it up. Pursue peace. Have joy as your inner quality. It should be part of your personality. Pursue that peace and joy, and let it become a part of you. And you will see that your happiness is going to increase. The more that you make good decisions, surround yourself with positive joy seekers. That's what I like to call it. Positive joy seekers is people who are positive and they're always pursuing joy and peace. Those are the kind of people that you need to surround yourself by. And unfortunately, sometimes within our own families, within our so-called friends, they're not that way. So while you may love them, but I have learned that you can love people from afar. And sometimes you have to love some people from afar, because they're always going to bring you down with their negativity. So I had to learn that. I had to learn to let people go, and it's okay. And you may have people who may be upset with you because of that, but you have to move forward with your life, because everybody is on a different road in life. Everybody has a different journey. But when you are pursuing peace and joy and love and light and happiness and forgiveness and all of those things, you're going to be happy, because you're moving forward with your life. You're not living in the past, because I believe 100% in the past is where the enemy lives. The enemy never can live in the present. He never can live in the present, because the present is what belongs to joy and light. So the devil likes to bring up things in your past to make you always hold on to that, to always be bitter and angry, and have a grudge against others. So let those things go. Forgive people. Move on with your life and start pursuing the things that make you happy, the things that bring joy into your life. Start doing things for others. Hey, Karen, I have no problem with letting people go, maybe too much. You have no problem letting people go? Oh, wow. Yes, good evening, Karen. How are you doing? Yeah, I think for me personally, I think it was hard for me to let people go. I don't know why, but it was like really difficult for me to let people go. Well, thanks for being here, Karen. Um, it was really hard for me to let people go in life. I guess one thing about me is when I love hard. And I think sometimes people don't give me the same love that I am deserving of. And I don't think that's you feel better. You feel better. I think you needed to say this as much as we needed to hear it. I used to be like that reason, season, or life. Right. Yeah, I do. The right way. I had to I just was tired of being a little girl, as I like to say. I was ready to be a grown woman and to do my thing, and to showcase that people can change, that you don't have to be a product of your environment, that even if you are in an environment with people who are negative and discouraging, you can make a choice within your own mind to be strong and to know your worth and to believe in yourself just the same way that God believes in you and loves you. You have to show people who you are. And even if they are negative, never give up on who you are and what you need to be doing in your life. Nobody has, how could I say it? Nobody is deserving of taking away your peace and your joy and your light, because that's a quality that you possess. That is what you deserve. You deserve all the peace and joy and love and light in your life. Yes, Cleveland. I say that all the time, let your lights shine. And I think that's one of the things that helped me. And I think that I was just at that position in my life where I was ready to make my light shine. I think before my light was dim because I was holding on to so many things. I was holding on to the bitterness and the anger and the resentment and not believing in myself and the low self-esteem and all the bad situations, everything that happened. It was like building, building, building until I had crowded out all the belief in me, all of the knowing who I am, knowing that God chose me, all of those things that had crowded out and dimmed my light until when I started getting rid of all of the junk in my mind and my heart, I started to get more and more clarity. Yes, I started to get more and more clarity in my mind and in my life because I was releasing things. Just like you're supposed to be trusting in God, I had to start walking in my path that He had prepared for me. He has told me, this is my path. You are my daughter, and I believe in you. I love you. And it's important to remind yourself of that you are loved and you're blessed and you possess everything that is necessary to cope with life. You possess everything that you need to be happy. I don't know what that means. Um, you possess everything in life that you need to be happy. And until you realize that you are deserving of happiness, until you know that you are chosen, until you believe that you're loved, until you know that and believe that. I grew up in a bad environment, bad city, bad people, but that didn't define me. I have more of a reason to be bitter than most, but I never have been. Wow, that's wonderful. Well, I can't say that for me. I can't say that for me because I was the most angry, bitter, negative person that you can ever meet until I made a choice one day to be happy. And that's just it. I just made a choice. I was like, I'm tired of being mad. I'm tired of being bitter. I'm tired of talking about others. And it's time for me to walk in. Hi, Imanta. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Welcome. I just had to make that choice. Like I was tired of being angry and bitter, and I was like, it's time to make a change and start walking in the path that was prepared for me, and to know my worth, because each one of you out there, you are worthy of blessings, and you each have talents and gifts. And remember that you are unique. There are no two people alike. So continue to be yourself. I see so much out here on social media, people trying to be like others, Just be yourself. It's always good enough. It's always good enough to just be yourself, because that's where you're going to have your most happiness, when you can just be authentically you. Be authentically you. There's nobody like you. And walk in your talents. Know your worth, because you are worthy of that, because you were chosen. And when you realize that, your whole life is going to shift. Your whole life is going to shift. Anybody who, if you're not happy right now, I think that you are dimming your light. You are not believing that you were chosen. You're not believing that you're loved. You're not believing that you're able and worthy and deserving. Sometimes you need those reminders. Anytime when I feel like my light is getting low and I'm feeling weak and unworthy and undeserving, I go to God and I pray and I said, please remind me of who I am. Remind me of your love. Bring people into my life that is going to aid in my joy and light and happiness and accomplishing your purpose for me. So sometimes we need a reminder. We need God to remind us. We need to surround ourselves by people who love us. But remember, that positivity, that joy, and that light, it starts right here. And you're in charge of how much joy and light you're going to possess in your life. You're in control. You're in the driver's seat. Nobody can be in control but you. You're in control of your joy and your light and your happiness. So go out there and receive it every single day. They are critical, Karen. Each and every day, you should wake up and just wake up thankful. Just wake up, and the first thing out of my mouth is thank you that I am alive another day. Thank you, Hamanta. Just another day saying thank you for making me be alive. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for loving me before I loved myself. I have to remind myself of that. And that will always humble you when you say thank you for loving me when I didn't love myself yet, even though I'm there now that I love myself. But there was a time when I didn't, and I didn't want to be here. But he said, no, I chose you, and you're going to be right here, and you're going to learn to love yourself, and you're going to accomplish things, and you're going to grow and be there for others so that you can help them to possess their own light and to bring in more light and showcase their talents and their gifts. Because there was a time in my life where I was told, because of my soft-spoken voice, you guys know I have a very soft voice, I was told that I could never teach anybody. I could never encourage others. That was one of the first haters, and that was in 3rd grade. I had a teacher tell me that. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, I had a 3rd grade. I don't know what was wrong with this teacher, that the teacher wanted to tell me that I could never be a teacher. I could never encourage and motivate anybody. And for years and years and years, that bothered me, because I always wanted to encourage others, but you have somebody that I was looking up to telling me that I couldn't do something. And I had to get over that. And I did. But that's why it's important to, even when people may say something to you because they're putting off their own fears and inconsistency within you, they're trying to make themselves feel good by pushing you down. Some people, that's the only way that they can produce joy, is to make you feel unhappy, to make you feel sad. Yeah, it would, shame on her. And this was an older woman too, because Yeah, she was an older woman. I would say she was somebody who was in her 50s at the time. So that showed how unhappy she was. And I had to say a prayer and forgive her because I just prayed for her that one day that she would possess joy and happiness and light and to stop being so negative. But you got to release those things and replace that. So I had to replace that when she said, "You will never," I say, I will always be a teacher. I will always be a motivator. I will always be an encourager because that's what I was made to do. This is what I'm made to do. This is my gift and my talent. And the nobody should have the audacity and the gall to try to tell you what your gift and your talent is. Why are you why are you laughing, King Art? Yes, it will help somebody, Cleveland. King Art, what are you laughing at? So you have to learn to let things go. And sometimes it's not until I started doing therapy that I even realized that I was still holding on to something somebody said when I was, how old are you when you're in third grade? 7, 8 years old. I was holding on to something from 7 and 8 years old my entire life. Trying to block me from my talents and my gifts. But when you have a gift and a talent that's within you, deep inside of you, eventually it's going to burst forth. Once you know your worth, know your gifts and your talents, and you believe it and you know it, nothing and no one can stop it. So that's the encouragement I wanted to come to you guys with, to be happy and know your worth, know that you were chosen, know that you were created with a purpose. So use your talents and showcase them to the world and just be yourself. If you get nothing out of this, please just be yourself and don't let anybody tell you that you are not worthy just the way that you are. Don't let anybody step into that space because that's a space that belongs to only you and God. Nobody has the right to tell you what your talent and your gift. Nobody has that right. Yeah, you have got a lot, Cleveland. And many people have many different talents. So I encourage you guys, tap into your talents, know your worth, and live your life with purpose and let your light shine. Let your light shine in this world and just be happy being yourself. Just be yourself. And everything is going to be okay. When you walk within your purpose, everything is going to be all right because you're not trying to be like anybody else but yourself. So maintain your joy and your light and your happiness. Let go of anger and resentment. Forgive others, forgive yourself, and walk within your path that was selected for you. Do what you were made to do and be joyful. So that's what I came to tell you guys. Thanks everybody for being here in my live stream. I appreciate each and every one of you. Cleveland and King Art, Crushing Goals with Karen, Boss Life Online. I don't know who else. I think that was it. Rights Way. Is there anybody else? Anybody else that I missed? Life of Amy, and all the rest of my mods. Anybody else who's not in here? Thanks to everybody who came through and watched my live. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for being here. And yeah, anybody going live? I think King Art said he was going live at 8 p.m. Anybody else going live later? Let me know. Oh, you're welcome. Yes, Karen. So yeah, guys, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.